Rex does feel that, or Reed feels that same role as Rex. Rex feels the same role as Reed, whichever way you want to word it. But it's that chemistry and synergy, and it's not like Reed hasn't played with these people before as well, right? I mean, they've played together. They have dominated West together in many different areas of competition, but do they have the synergy to keep it together this entire tournament? Do they have enough experience together to do it? Maybe, but I don't know.
Well, I'd say one of the key factors here, right, and like they've talked about it publicly, was Rex wasn't necessarily playing the game as much as Epic Whale and Arkham would have liked, and I don't think you will ever say the same about Reed. Reed plays in literally everything. Like, Reed's like, oh, OCE Cash Cup in 2.5 hours? Yeah, no problem. I'll stay on. Play some creative until then. Like, he will literally play in absolutely everything. When you talk about these guys at least having chemistry, I mean, they've played in West Cups, they've played in East, they've played on Europe, they've played in Asia, they've won money, I think, in pretty much every single one of those except Europe, and maybe there was one outlier circumstance. I know Reed qualified for at least one final all the way over in EU. So, but now flipping on over, we can see Kytrex under a little bit of pressure here. That's Nitrix who's going to be able to get the pickup here. Cash, Porker, and Nate trying to get the pressure around the outside. As we've seen so far, only 2 trios have gone down. You can see that in the top left-hand corner of your screen. We do still have 6 other players who have been taken out, pardon me, as we are down to 89. You can see here, Nate trying to get up on the wall, trying to own whatever pieces he can around the side, but doesn't necessarily want to get caught out. And this is, again, we talk about awkward fights. Keep an eye on the bottom right-hand corner right outside of Weeping Woods, and there's another team who's just kind of staring, waiting to see how far this fight devolves down.
And for Goldfish, or Gold Cash, Nate, and Mystery, they did notice them. They do see them. They are aware. But Nitrix, Kytrex, and Baka don't. They don't know that's a team lurking up above. Jelty, Krizix. Gonna base up on top of that bush. Another team coming nearby. They've got to be careful. They've invested a lot. Look at the hard mats that were used now, even more from Nitrix and Kytrex trying to make their way away. Maybe Jacob, on the other hand, seems to be chilling. Is just sitting, farming some extra wood for Temple, Symmetrical, and himself. And no one seems to be a threat for them.
Yeah, and kind of keeping an eye in that top left-hand corner, that 89 we were just talking about, jump back up to 91. Those are the reboots that NA West tends to favor. I mean, it came a little out of favor in the last FNCS because there weren't necessarily the opportunities due to how the elimination curves work, but no surprise here in the Grand Royale that teams are going to find a little bit more room, it's going to be poking and prodding because it's not necessarily the same as those regular FNCS lineups. It's not the same type of teams you see. There's a couple players who've been able to sneak in because they are better at winning those matches. And I mean, we kind of talked about it, particularly tomorrow when the points are doubled. Like this part of the competition, these first 6 matches are effectively 1/3 of the available points. So despite the fact that we're playing half of the available games today, only 1/3 of the available points will be coming through. So those teams who have the ability to like grab a victory Royale, all of a sudden the 30 points turning into 60 points just from those placements makes a huge difference. So today is largely about stage and kind of knowing where you're going to stand, and then tomorrow is what's going to be the big push.
Yeah, that's set up for, and honestly, tomorrow it'll be like the opposite of a shooting. I don't know what the opposite of a shooting is, but that's where people will start to break away if they're having a great set of games. If they come out hot and they end hot. And then tomorrow they do the same. I mean, there's just not really going to be a chance to catch them. You don't really have the opportunity with how the point format works out as we get a nice view of what's happening here. Jelty and Krizix up top, and we move over to 2/3 of the previous champions. Favs, Snacky, and now Rex joining them. The amount of titles, of FNCS titles on this trio now, as well as Arkham, Rex, and Epic Whale, or rather Arkham, Re, and Epic Whale. My apologies there. It's just insane to see.
Yeah, I mean, we've always talked about the very top part of the West being loaded. I like particularly the exchanges and the fact that it's been so close to the 1-2 punch. Snacky and Favs, when they had Kenshi as well before, they're always right towards the top. I think it was 2 second-place finishes in a row there before they're finally able to add Reed and kind of push over. And again, it was only really done right towards the end. Don't forget, like, Epic Whale, Arkham, and Rex put on an absurd performance, the best day 2 performance ever. Like, they broke all the records for a single-day performance there, but it just wasn't quite enough, right? Like, there was the one game we talked about where they ended up getting the victory royale, but so many players ended up just falling to the zone. And if it seems like we're kind of reminiscing and setting the stage for you guys, well, that's because if you keep an eye on the top left-hand corner, that number is not going down. There's not people who are fighting. In fact, it's going the opposite way. We've seen yet another player picked up, so we're now back up to 92. And with the second zone closing in now, we should get a storm surge warning here on the right-hand side. We'll be able to check in with some of these top trios and see who's going to be under threat, who's not, as we see Squishy's car get popped right there. They're going to take a little bit of extra damage and try to box up. Swing on over to Dog, J Roses, and Zinx. 152 above, but that number is dropping on the right-hand side, and we need 22 players to go down, Clay. So 8 trios currently going to be under pressure from that.
I want to know who some of them are. We're swapping over to one of them right now, albeit only 44 below, but we know that Arkham and Epic Whale with Rex did struggle with Storm Surge. This is one of their biggest things. They had a plan in Season 7, they executed it, and they fell short in Season 8. I now want to see in the Grand Royale what Arkham and Epic Whale in particular have done, because Reed always seemed to be above Surge in that last FNCS final, but will it be enough? Will they be able to find the damage in time? 57 damage. They still got a little bit more to go with the zone, as well as they've got a good amount of time, but with everyone already being based up, with everyone already being set up, look, they're just continuing to drop.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen Reed under Storm Surge, because he's either pushed somebody and been eliminated or gotten the elims he needs, or at least as we saw in the last FNCS, they were able to like game plan around it. So as long as the other top trio, if Fabs and his trio are above Storm Surge, I'm with the observers. Let's ride this one out, because I want to see how this new trio ends up reacting, right? This is kind of that first initial checklist, right? Okay, did you survive your initial drop? If yes, proceed to first Storm Surge. If you're at first Storm Surge, are you above it? Right now, the answer is no. So they're not able to proceed to play the next part of the game, and it looks like they're going to go for an ambush play. There are ghosting. They're going to hit the pad, and we saw this happen over on NAs. They're going to try and drop down directly on top of a team. So he's going to then jump vertically, right? So he's going to drop below them. He's trying to line this up. Oh, this is going to be such a good shot, but shots are spraying their way. Arkham dropping down directly on top of him. Hello! From the top rope, Arkham straight into the box. 105 going through, trying to push forward, finds the 31 tag as well. He got the Storm Surge, but now can they disengage? They aren't necessarily actually above yet. They're still below, as Reed's going to end up going down. So while he found the shots, it wasn't enough, and the damage comes through. They were too late. Reed's been taken completely out. Arkham now desperately trying to pop a heavy pot to try and get that off. Epic Whale looking for a little bit of space, but they have to keep going. Despite dropping down, it's not enough damage. We talk about too little, too late. This might be it, Clay.
Yeah, they just weren't coordinated on their push. They all went at separate times. Arkham went in, but it still wasn't enough. Really needed that finish to come on through. 57 below. They're trying to out heal it there. Nice shots there from Epic Whale. 150. Will it be enough to put them above? Doesn't seem like it. People getting damage all around. It should update here, and it is. 118. Do they have enough to get to each other, though? 97 builds for Epic Whale. They're right on the other side, though. Arkham just out of that box, just out of reach to get back in, is Flicks, Lokes, and Moodio. Take an elimination there onto Reed. They take down one of the FNCS champions from Chapter 2, Season 8. Gotta be feeling good, but somehow they're only 54 above. They're not comfortable here.
Yeah, and the one thing we talked about, how Epic Whale, he loves to over-index on heals and utility. You'll always see him with boppers. You'll always see him with minis. You'll always see him min-maxing the amount of effective HP he has. So while they aren't in a great spot here, if they are able to grab Reed's card, they're right around the outside of Weeping. There is a reboot available. They were able to get themselves above Surge. So while you kind of check that box off, there's maybe a little asterisk there. It's like, hey, maybe next time don't lose a teammate, but they are going to be able to get the disengage as we swing on over to another trio. They don't have to worry about Storm Surge right now. Storm Surge will actually turn off, keeping an eye on the top left-hand corner. Jelty's trio finding the full wipe onto Kytrix, Nitrix, and Baka being taken out, as well as Regulator picking up Nate. Puts us at 69 players, 25 trios, so still no placement points going over, as one more trio will need to drop here. Poppy, Psyrazor picking up the knocks there, not quite getting the confirmations. Yep, there they are as we talk about it. Horker also finding one, and there's the +5 points for placement.
Or depths will fall. The zone, while there's a lot of people, it feels a little empty on the side. As you can see, Symmetrical and some are going to be able to work their way on through. Arkham And Epic Whale in a similar situation as they found themselves earlier. The same exact team trying to be aggressive onto them. Epic Whale taking a big amount of damage there. And unfortunately, it seems like it's too big of a chunk. And oh, he's got the flopper. They'll be able to go back up. Arkham does have a med kit. Should be good. He's got to pop it now, though. If he doesn't pop it now, he's going to go down. He waits till the right moment. Does, I think, get it off just by a millisecond, if any. But no, he's actually not going to get off because the zone is going to update and do more than the 2-tick. And unfortunately, a miscalculation there from Arkham. He went for those shots, and that cost him his life.
They're not going to be able to find it there. As the zone does close into the fourth, it goes from 2 damage a pop to then 5 damage. I mean, 5 damage is not insignificant, and Flicks will just barely able to find those chili chug splashes. He does also have a launch pad. He needs to find the room to get it. I don't think you pop minis here. I think you need to get yourself into the zone. Will be able to find that. Now he's just trying to get a little bit of space onto the cabin, and again, solo dolo, but towards the middle here in zone number 4, we see Jay going down in the feed that's naked. The full confirmation as we have 60 players left. Lush also picking one up. We're going to view the lobby, see who's posted up where. So we have Cuddy, Drew, and Assault up on the high ground currently, right in the middle of Weeping. You see Lush getting the confirmation there. On to Kenshi of Team 33 being taken down. You see Krizix and Jelty over on the side. Nigel, Rakasuki looking for a little bit of space on the lower part of the cabin. We peek on over. Rex Snacky. Fabs, plenty of space right now, 1 elimination to their name, but they need to be careful about this rotation. They're very far, and they're kind of in an awkward spot, Clark.
Yeah, everyone already having rotated around them except for the team behind them, and that team is going to go across the bridge more than likely. They are getting a lot of damage, so that's the power of that sniper rifle this season. The only one, we saw how quick it was. Snacky will get the down there. Snacky, though, is second for total NA West final victory royales with 8 this year. That's a lot of victory royales to get in Fortnite, and we know how valuable they really, really are. And tomorrow they're going to be even more valuable, that double points. So they're looking to set themselves up well for it. 646 damage above Surge, but you're right. Look at what they have to go through. Look at the push they've got to make.
They're running straight into just a line of builds. All these players already established, but he's doing a really good job at spraying back shots when he can. Able to pick up the Elim there onto Elige. Now, it wasn't his knock, so no points coming through, but it gives them the space, right? They're able to now navigate up a layer. Snacky needs to be careful because he did just have his shields broken, so players should be able to call it out, but they're not. They just got great positioning here. They just kind of took high ground on this side, and with 3, 2, 1, the reveal of the half in, half out, it drops right on top of their head. They're in great position. You can see them immediately split the launch pads, figure it out. Only 2 trios will be under threat here of Storm Surge, and you can see they're going to try and pressure the opposite side, as now 1 trio will be under threat of Storm Surge, and that's actually the trio on the opposite side. We can see that purple lightning just to the right. Not necessarily, no, it is the team on the high ground, so they're going to be taking a bunch of damage. They're going to be forced to poke down. You see Snacky actually spraying. How? He didn't even aim that one. How is his hipfire so good? That's the one thing I don't get about some of these players. They just hit nut shots.
They do. They find him out of nowhere, and the triple spray not going to go through for Snacky. Rather not go on him as well. And now they're looking to find any sort of elimination they can, right? They're 822 above. It doesn't matter. They've got 500 AR ammo. This is what you need to do. You just got to spray and keep spraying. You've got the high ground. You'll be able to make it in. You'll be able to rotate in, even though they're technically not in right now. But just keep spraying. Use as much ammo as you can right here, because if you get to this moving zone with 500 ammo, you've essentially wasted your opportunity. It's so many eliminations. We move over to the low ground to a team that is below. Nice shots there by way of Jacob. Going to put him above for now. 33 damage above. We'll see if they go below. We always see that, but no. Surge will turn off for now.
And we're into the cascading placement points as well. So each trio that drops will be +1 point to the remaining trios. See 50 players up, 17 trios left. Your current leaderboard on the left-hand side, Godvert, Glace, and Fikoi tied up there with Zoomer, Yumi, and Squishy at 17. Drew, Mess, Cuddy, and Assault just behind at 15. So don't forget they are leaders then on eliminations being the difference, as all the placement points will be equal at this point. Not necessarily in a bad spot are Temple Symmetrical and Wavy Jacob, but the one thing to be cautious of is keeping an eye on the number of players who end up going down, because with Weeping Woods, it hasn't been denied through the Fireflies. That means there's tons of excess wood, which if players aren't forced into building with the hard mats early on, as we see right there, all of these trees are going to get refarmed. So if you get to that 7th zone Storm Surge, and we're still hanging around kind of like mid 40 players left, that's going to be really rough for Symmetrical and Temple. I'm interested to see where Snacky, Rex, and Fabs are, because again, they were doing fine on Storm Surge on the rotation, and they're going to early launch pad because it is an opposite side of the zone. They have to be careful because of the cover. They did opt to go all the way to the high and then try and get around to the front side of the zone, not taking too much excess damage, so they're going to be happy with that, as hey, they have priority position now. Everyone else is really slow on the uptake.
This is what you want to see from 2/3 of the team that just won the previous FNCS Dynamic Cell hostings, all going to fall in that rotation. They've taken the low ground priority. They said, it is our low ground, we want to claim it. But what can they find? Saki in the back looking to try to find any elimination. Ghouls and Grim, unfortunately, going to fall down. Like fighting their own battles so close together. The high ground, though, I think it looks like it was Temple there for a second. No, Symmetrical, Wavy Jacob, and Temple going to be here. And the low ground, JJK Drew trying to make something happen, but unfortunately will fall as well. But look, now they're below Surge, and it's going to hit.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. However, that number went from 41 to 38 very quickly. 3 trios will be impacted by it, and they are one of them. And 260 basically means you have to jump in. You have to go super aggressive. Snacky picking up some eliminations in the feed. Aiden also going to be picking them up. So you can see the number is dropping relatively rapidly, but not quick enough for Wavy, Jacob, Temple, and Symmetrical. 83 below, 90 below. You can see the minis being given out saying, hey, who else still has a little bit of utility? Well, Snacky's like, I got utility, but I'm the only one picking up eliminations right now. Trying to get wall to wall, trying to fight and doing a good job with it. As we say, we flip over this, they are more than enough above. You can see 1200 on the right hand side, so they're going to pass that check mark. And as we talked about them finding the priority side of the zone, I mean, it looks good to play for that late game 3v3 from them. They're not adding as many as eliminations as I would have expected here, but with Storm Surge turning off, they'll have a free pass into the top 10 with what looks like decent control.
And they've got that epic pump shotgun in Snacky's hand. If he can hit those shots, that's going to be a lot of eliminations coming on through, as well as Rex, Wavy, Jacob, Jelty going to fall. Temple B, unfortunately, going down. It's going to be Cuddy up above. A solo on high ground with no heals or no potential for it, as we see Lush taken down to Wave, trying just to spray their way out. Only 115 total AR ammo, and now immediately he's going to be found out. Has to drop down to Snacky, unfortunately, going to fall. Sizer there will take him down. Rex gonna fall there as well. Godfro will be the one to do it. The only question is, what is up the Fabs? Can they do it? No, they cannot. They have been taken out of the game so far, as everyone else tries to stack as many points as they can. We see Mech10 unfortunately falling there. Fecoy the one to do it. They stay in zone.
7 elims?
Perfect timing.
7 elims on Fecoy right now. I know what they were popping off, but man, Fecoy has been putting in the work. But one thing to note here, this final zone, we're going slightly uphill. Yes, it is a solo up there, but it looks like everyone is finally now run out of mats. This is the last one. Will Old Man Mountain be able to gift the solo an opportunity to make a play here, or will Fecoy continue his absurd run? He does try and have the harpoon combo, but with no builds here, they're really at the mercy of just trying to find a pick on something, and Fecoy does it. Cuddy going down. That was a player on the high ground, but he immediately ends up using almost all of the mats from there. Top 4, still 10 trios remaining. They're sitting on 10 eliminations themselves. They open up. There is a trio directly on their right-hand side trying to find the room. They will potentially run into each other when they open up this ramp, but he should have got that information there. Fecoy is looking for the fight. He wants to get that first shot off, but he's caught out in the open. That was a very poor decision. He ends up costing him there. As Cyrazer, Eclipse, and Poppy will be fighting for that finish here. We have a 3v3v2 to close it out. Or 3v2v2.
Nice shots. Oh, it's going to get the elimination as well under Cool, who ended up making it all the way to the top 3, and now a 3v3 notch down on the low ground, trying to lead their team to victory, but they don't really have the ability to do it. It's going up a slight incline here, running out of space. They're going to have to build as much as they can now. They do have a charged shotgun, so they can go for it if a team decides to drop down, but look, they're going to get coned off. One of them going to go down to zone. Entrex, the only one left. Good shots there, but it's not going to be enough. He gets it down onto Poppy, but they follow him up. Cyrazer says, I'm there, I'm here, and Eclipse said, I got the heal off just in case. They pick up the victory royale with 9 eliminations.
Eclipse feeling the power of the lunar eclipse that ended up playing out there, channeling it right now. And I mean, that cone was gross, by the way. Like, we talk about piece control and just how often it ends up impacting the game. Well, you saw just that little bit of change in verticality. They recognize this, like, hey, they're going to want to jump around on their right-hand side. That's a huge victory royale, and honestly, it feels like a little bit of a statement. We don't really talk about Cyrus, Apophis, and Eclipse enough, but in the last